because I just always believe that you could consent to something and then something bad and awful could happen. And a lot of Me Too stories have an initial consent thing where, you know, whether somebody convinced somebody and they were well-intentioned, or whether someone coerced someone to give consent and they were ill-intentioned. A lot of stories start with someone going back to someone's house with love in their heart, and then something bad happens, you know? So that binary consent thing just always annoyed me. And then when continuous consent sort of caught on, I was like, yes, this is what I was thinking, this is what I was believing that whole time. So continuous consent is also a thing, right? And that's checking in, you know, only having sex with people you trust, so you do feel like saying your needs. And the traffic light model I'm about to take you through involves a lot of communication. So if you're scared that you're going to turn people off by talking, that means you're not close enough to be having sex, all right? And a lot of people have really healthy fuck buddy relationships. Like, don't confuse that, you know, you need to be in a relationship of commitment to have good, healthy sex with people, because you can be really good friends with someone who just you don't want to spend your whole life with, let alone the rest of your life. It's just a little relationship for now, and you get along physically and you're attracted to each other chemically, but just socially and whatever, it's not a partner, you know? Without further ado, so obviously red is bad, is stop. Red is the safe word, okay? And if you need to say red, it doesn't mean it's over. It just means we need to stop right now because this is too intense. And we need to stop, we need to turn the lights on, put our clothes back on, whatever it is, to just cut off the feeling that was happening, which was fight or flight. Once you're in fight or flight, how are you going to enjoy sexual congress? It's over, right? So stop is stop, yeah? And then you can have a cuddle and console, and then from there, okay, yeah, I love you, and you can go again. It can pick up from red, right? But if you don't stop, then it's a problem, and it'll become a lot of the people arguing against rape accusations and stuff say like, well, she consented to it, or she didn't say she wasn't enjoying it, and it's like, I shouldn't be saying she, because, you know, gay people have, you know, the gay community runs rife with etc. But one person not feeling comfortable saying that they were uncomfortable then can become a regret thing. You know, people go, oh, they just regretted it and they said it was rape. And it's like, it can feel like rape, you know, it can feel like you haven't consented to it. If you don't feel comfortable saying, actually, I'm no longer consenting to this. I'm no longer consenting to what's happening. I need to stop, right? And legally, it's hard to argue, I changed my mind because that person's technique wasn't very good. There was the Aziz Ansari allegations and accusations and stuff. And when I read the description of what had happened, according to her, I was just like, oh, he's not very good at giving head. That's what happened. She was interested, they went home, you know, she liked him because he's famous, so we're making out, everything was going well, and then it said he started giving her head in the kitchen, and I could see that that's where it went awry, you know? So either it was uncomfortable or painful for her, and she just went, oh, okay. But then after that, he was trying to keep going because he thought that was a stepping stone in the going to the bedroom, and she was like, oh no, and went home. It's like something went wrong during the process of him going down on her, right? So the consent was interrupted with like, I no longer consent to this. And it's, you know, it's trashed his name. He lost his Netflix special, you know, and it's, you know, they were strangers. So she didn't feel comfortable going like, maybe just try something else, right? Which is yellow. Okay. So if we don't use yellow, it can turn into red, and it can turn into a Me Too story that's trashed this guy's career, right? When he's just shit at giving head. He probably hasn't done it that many times, hasn't had girlfriends who've like corrected him and gone, actually, I prefer that, stay away from that, do more of this, for my body, I prefer that, you know, teaching what feels good. So yellow is like just when it starts to go a bit awry, you're like, just maybe don't give me head, you know, it's not. And if you stay in the, then it becomes red, you know, it's that escalation of discomfort, right? And And what I was saying about fight or flight, being in the red zone where you're just like in your full lizard brain, you know, the lizard brain's not like, oh, this feels good. The lizard brain's like, do I run or do I fight? Is this poisonous? It's disgust, poison, or it's fear, run, or it's anger. No, don't take away my food. That's it. That's all that's happening. So if you're in red, you have to stop, you have to run. And the only thing you can do as the partner of someone who says the safe word is like, okay, let's run. Are you okay? Run away, let the feelings stay down, you know. And from there you can rebuild either the sexual confidence in that moment or the relationship of like, okay, now I know not to push that particular button, right? So yellow turns into red if we don't say yellow. Yellow can also just be like, not feeling it today. And, you know, I know this is a thing that my uterus is not in the right spot for that move according to my cycle. At this point I'm going, yellow, try something else. And it's like, the more you do it, the less offended you get by it. So it's like, yeah, fuck that, you know. It's like, do you want to eat this again? It's like, no, I ate that for dinner yesterday. You're not offended that they offered you the same thing you ate for dinner yesterday. They just didn't know that you already ate that for dinner yesterday. And it's like, I could, but I'd prefer not to. Like, you know, yellow can just, and it's like, cool, fuck it, let's do something else, you know. There's plenty of other things we could do. So you don't need to be wedded to that particular strategy, right? So yellow is meh, all right? And as a highly codependent person, I've been working on that. I do let a lot of like, meh, like, you know, I tolerate a lot of stuff that's uncomfortable personally. And so, I understand why people do that. They're like, I don't really care. Like, my needs are slightly less important than the other person because of your birth order or where you were in your family structure, that you just played down your importance and you became more of a caregiver and focused on others, and others got used to that. So they were takers and you were more of a giver, right? Which is totally a thing. And look, in the original BDSM model, there's orange as well. I don't use orange because I don't really subscribe to like accepting discomfort, like really like, we're just going to include that. And the orange is like, that's nearly red, but you can do it a little bit longer. Like you can do that to me for a little bit longer, but I'm nearly, not too much more. A couple more seconds and then you have to stop, right? So I don't like that. I don't like the discomfort being included. Unless there's like people are into pain, which is totally a thing. But honestly, if that's the case, it's not orange, it's green, right? So when someone likes pain and they're like, oh yeah, that does it, I just want to feel something. Yeah, that's really awakening me, and my dopamine receptors are more open now, that's green, right? And so the thing with the green is actually the hardest to use. You'd think that green is easy. It's like, oh, this is good. Keep going. This is good and stuff. Green is difficult because you don't feel like instructing when it's going well. You don't feel like communicating like, just want to let you know, totally awesome, going really well, and just ruin the moment, right? Because you're just kind of in the groove of feeling each other out. But whereby green is quite important is like, keep doing exactly what you're doing and do not change it. Do not change the speed. Do not do it harder. And there's a lot of temptation when someone gives you a good response is to double down. And there's a thing in comedy we talk about, it's like, you've just pushed the button and it worked, so you want to push it again. You want to say the same punchline again, and everyone's like, we just heard that, you can't. And sometimes you're with your friend and you get a laugh and then you just go, yeah, because blah, 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 and you just say it again, and it's like, that's not funny twice. But it's the urge is like, double down, double down, double down. I liked that, give me another response, So the urge to speed up or add pressure, when someone's enjoying, because you get excited, right? And it's like, no, just green, just keep it. Do not fucking move. Do not fucking change, right? So that's green, right? And it might be that someone did speed up or they did add pressure, and you have to go, okay, next time I'm gonna slow down, buddy. And I've been scared of the moment getting ruined as well, but it's much easier to be told like, keep doing that, please do this, and then the increase of the joy, the substance remains joyful. It's a much greater payoff than like fiddling around in the dark and things going wrong. So as humans, sometimes we need to do things the wrong way to appreciate doing things the right way. But my unsolicited advice is to be brave and to embrace that discomfort in order to honor the system. So To recap, red is the safe word, is stop everything. Yellow is, let's do something else. Green is don't fucking change. Do not change what you're doing. That is rad. Keep going, all right? And orange is the, I'm really not enjoying that, but just, you can do it a little bit more because I fucking love you, right? And the other reason I don't like orange is it's not sustainable. Like if you're going to be in a relationship with someone for a long time and they don't like doing the thing that you do like doing, eventually they're going to be like, no more of that, no more of that. It's that old like, oh no, I'm married, I don't have to give blowjobs anymore. Ha 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 ha. It's like, we'll just marry someone who likes giving blowjobs. Do you know what I mean? Marry someone who loves giving blowjobs. Or if, guys don't like going down on women, it's like, well, if you really like having someone go down on you, then you need to find someone who's obsessed with going down on you. You know what I mean? Etc. Sorry if you are gay or trans or whatever and I've used exclusive language. That's just my experience. The words in my head operate that way. As a cis straight person, all apologies if you're offended. Yeah, I'm trying to be sensitive as possible, but I'm also just, gynocentric. Is that the one? I don't know. Definitely egocentric anyway. All right. PM me with chats. Peace.